Hi, boys and girls. Our next lesson is 10.2 dot plots. This will be assigned Monday and will be due Wednesday. And you can find the assignment in the CK12 folder on Schoology. Okay, so I'm going to quickly walk you through what this lesson, the interactive part, entails. Okay, so to start with, you're going to have to fill out a table because it wants to know how many letters are in the word one, how many in the word two, and so on. In the interactive below, enter the number of letters and the spelling of each number, up to 20. The interactive will plot the number on the number line once you enter the correct number of letters in each word. So once you type in 3, so for example, I will do one for you here. So how many letters does 1 have? 3. Whoops. 3, and then go to 2, and you'll notice that it'll plot the point for you, or dot the circle where 3 is. Okay, we'll do one more. 2 has 3 letters in it, and you'll notice that it goes straight up on top of the last dot you put on there. All right, then you have 3 questions to answer. And moving down, a dot plot is a visual display in which each piece of data is represented by a dot above a number line. Okay, very similar to what we have here. Showing the frequency of each data value. Right, there's a couple key vocabulary words here that I want to kind of talk about real quick. The median is the middle number of your data set, and I'm going to be talking more about that shortly. And then we have the range of our data, or the spread of our data. How spread out is our data? All right, we're also going to talk about the shape and talk about peaks and clusters. Okay, and another vocabulary word is an outlier, and I'll show you that a little bit later in these interactives. All right, read through again these vocabulary words. We have peaks, clusters, and outlier. This is what it means by an outlier. So for example, first, a cluster is where the bulk of your data is. So the bulk of our data is centered around 2 and 4. Okay? And then we have this huge gap where there's no data. And all of a sudden up here we have 13. So that's considered an outlier. Then it gets into the vocabulary word symmetric, how our data is distributed. And it's distributed, if you look here, when it's symmetric, it says, well, here it says like a bell-shaped. I also like to refer to it, looks like a hill, right? You go up the hill, then down the hill. It's perfectly symmetric. Or you could say it's U-symmetric, where you can make like the letter U. Some might think more like a V, but this is U-shaped. Right, so here's a lot of just reading different vocabulary words and looking at a dot plot. When there's X's here like this, that's called a line plot, but it's all considered the same as a dot plot. Okay, instead of using dots, we use X's. All right, and then you're going to continue doing more interactives. Read the directions here. It talks about a range. That's the spread of our data. All right, from the lowest data value to the highest data value. Okay, so what should be the range on the number line for the baseball runs data set, for the baseball runs data set above? Okay, and again, I'm going to talk about range in very shortly. And again, you're going to answer these questions. Do some more interactives. Okay, so as you can tell, this has a lot more interactives than the last week's lesson, statistical questions. And you're going to work your way right through the rest of this. Okay? Any questions, of course, you can always email me, and I have my office hours Tuesday, or my help sessions, I'll call them, on Tuesday and Thursday from 10:30 to 11:30. And then when you get through all of the interactives, you're going to Click View Practice, Preview, and then you're going to answer. This is where we talked about before, you're going to have to get 10 questions correct in order to be done. All right, so if you miss one, it's going to keep adding questions on the more you miss, or if you get all 10 right, the first 10 correct, then you'll be done. All right? And if you get halfway through and need to stop, click Done, and that will save your work and it'll come back and pick up where you left off. It will not do that for the interactives. So if you get halfway through the interactives and stop, when you come back, it won't pick up where you left off. Just remember where you left off with the interactives and just pick up from there. Okay, and remember, when you get all 10 questions correct, don't forget to hit the Turn In button. It will be in yellow on top. Okay. All right. So let's talk about some review here. Symmetrical data. Again, symmetrical data, when it's evenly distributed, kind of looks like a bell-shaped or a hill. Compared to data that is skewed to the left. All right, so if you notice, this kind of has a tail. It tails off. So here's where we'll find the bulk of our data, right in here. But then it kind of tails off. We have data that goes all the way this way. So this is considered skewed to the left, where you kind of see, like, I almost like to think of it as like a tail, skewed to the left. And this is the bulk of our data. Now, skewed to the right is exactly the opposite. Again, this is not a dot plot, but you could see how it's skewed. Our data, our tail goes to the right. And here's the bulk of our data. So this is a skewed right distribution. Okay, again, skewed to the left. The tail, like I like to say, is your data thins out to the left here. Here's, again, the bulk of our data, our cluster. Okay, so let's talk about range really quick. The simplest measure of spread in data is the range. Again, it is the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value within the data set. Let's look at an example. Gabby scored 3, 1, 4, 2, 3, 5, 2, this many goals in the last 7 games. What is the range or the spread of your data set? Well, if we look back up here, to find the range, it is the difference between the maximum value and the minimum value. So our maximum value is 5. Our minimum value is 1. So 5 minus 1 is 4. So the spread or the range of our data is 4. The mode of a data set is the number that occurs most frequently in a set. So when we have a dot plot, we look for the tallest or with the one with the most dots. In this case, the mode of the number of magazines sold would be 20. Can there be more than one mode? Absolutely. A data set can have more than one mode. This is called bimodal. Okay, if you look here, you see 2 stacks that have exactly the same amount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's 8 here with 7 and 8 with 9. So our modes would be 7 and 9. Just like there could be more than one mode, there could be no modes. All right, the median is the middle set. I'm sorry, the median is the middle number of your data set. Okay, so let's just say we had these math quiz scores of how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 of them here. Okay, what is the median quiz score? Well, first you have to order the data set from least to greatest. And when we do that, we have the range here would be from 98 to 87, our minimum and our maximum. But we want to find the median. So we line them up from least to greatest. And then from there, we chop from each side until we get to the middle number. So there's 4 on this side. There's 4 on this side of the data set of 92, which is the median. So the median quiz score was 92. 4 quiz scores were higher than 92 and 4 were lower. So again, if we did this, we'd cut off 87, cut off 98, cut off 88, cut off 96, cut off 88, cut off 95, cut off 90, cut off 93, and here is our median. Okay? All right, so any questions, email me, refer back to this video if you have any questions. Good luck. And again, my help sessions will be Tuesday and Thursday, 10:30 to 11:30. And again, to get on to the help sessions, you have to go to meet.google.com, join the meeting, and type in soccer 102 right into the nickname part, and that'll take you right to the meeting. All right, good luck. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.